even contemplate what a school environment would look like without music, without the opportunity for students to have a touch upon this glorious and essential to me part of education, where they're learning complexities about the mind, but they're also learning about who they are as a human being, and we're helping through music to help them figure out themselves and to find an identity that not only lives here, but to me, moves on throughout their life. Whether once they leave high school and move on to college and beyond, that instrument stays with him. There are inherent attributes that we develop through music that are with us for a lifetime. So whether we're talking the cognitive, the academic, or all of those other attributes that support life, to me, music is an essential part of every educational community. And it also comes with the commitment that students and parents and families make in regard to value. Because we know that this is not just something that just happens. You know, there are very few places in this country where instruments are provided for every child who wants to play one. And really, that's not the norm. In some urban centers, there are some wonderful programs that provide for that. But in most communities, it's the investment in the physical value that parents make and the commitment that you make to your students and to the programs that also is critical. It's critical to the success of the program. It's critical to your students' musicianship. And so there are a couple of things in regards to this as we close that I'd like to point out. And since we are here in the Parsippany-Troy Hills School District, I'm using this district as a model, knowing that many school districts around this area also function in a similar way. We know that in elementary school, as students first start, they have the opportunity to rent an instrument. It's a trial period. And there are some pretty good deals that, you know, we expect a small initial investment so that students can see if this is a good fit for them. And for some it is, and for some it isn't. That's just a reality of where we are. In middle school, though, as students continue on, we start to make a commitment financially to an initial purchase of a student instrument. And a colleague of mine, Mark Despotakis, who is part of the Music Achievement Council, which is a national organization or council of music vendors. They're in the industry. He helped me to uncover the average cost for a student-owned instrument, and so that's what you see on the left. What we know in this school district, for example, at Brookline and Central Middle Schools, is that there are 464 students in grades 6, 7, and 8. So if on the left side we take the average investment that a family makes in an instrument, we know that overall for all of those 464 students that there's an approximate family investment of over $600,000 into that instrumental music program. For many students, as they come into high school, they make an instrument upgrade. As our skills become more sophisticated and mature, so too do the instruments to help us to achieve that next level. And again, we know that typically that upgraded instrument is an increase of about 25% over that student model instrument. And so, for example, here in the two high schools in this school district, where we are this evening, there are 198 students in band. And so that's a little bit over $300,000 of family or parental investment in the high school program. And so I'd like to share some compelling data that kind of brings this all together. And again, as we are here in this community, I've asked Mr. Ipiga and his colleagues to help me look at some data that I took and crunch some numbers. The first thing that we know is for students involved in the band program in grades 4 through 12, district-wide participation in band is at 49%, well above the national average of 20%. So that is commendable beyond belief to have such a rich and deep program and involvement of students in that instrumental community. We also know that those students involved in the band program here in grades 4 through 12, that their proficiency on the high-stakes testing that the state offers, that students overall are performing about 5 percentage points higher than the students who do not choose to participate in band. So compelling data that supports the fact that in the multiple ways that intelligence and cognitive maturation is supported through the study of music, we also see that other life skills like time management, organization, responsibility, flexibility, and adaptability, the opportunity for students to be able to manage, say, pull-out lessons and missing classes, and then having to go and make up work if they miss something critical, how all of that comes together and really does not detract from students, how students do. In fact, they're performing better, which again is some remarkable and compelling evidence. And finally, the last piece of compelling data is that when you take the total number of students in this approximate family investment in middle school and high school, this is just middle school and high school, that just under $1 million in this one community alone invest in this program. And in knowing several of the surrounding communities, I would say that that number is quite similar in the surrounding school districts as well when we look at participation. And a huge thanks to all the parents who do invest in the opportunity for their children to be involved in music education, to play in ensembles of this nature. Because as we can see, there is so much value in this opportunity in so many ways. I know I am grateful, all of the band directors and music faculty here in this school district, and if you went to every other school district around this nation that has a music program, they would all say the same. They would say thank you to the parents first, and to those families, and to those guardians for providing this opportunity for their children. It provides for student musical growth and achievement, but holistically, it absolutely and undeniably supports the cognitive maturation and intellectual growth of students academically across the board. So, to end where we started, we're all contributors. This is a partnership. As we look at this ideal of a comprehensive music education program, the ways in which we support and affirm one another so that we can provide the highest quality musical opportunities for students is our goal. That is our goal through a comprehensive music education program. And I'd like to end with a quote, and then we're going to hear a closing piece by the ensemble. And how appropriate to end with something that Edward Lisk has stated. Through music study, students experience the beauty of musical expression. Beauty, compassion, feeling, appreciation, sensitivity, love, peace, tolerance, sympathy, warmth, empathy, self-esteem, cooperation, and respect. These are but a few of the living or life priorities found within music. As your moderator and host for this evening, I want to say thank you to all of you for choosing to come and to learn and perhaps grow and understand the value of music education. And I'd like to thank the students for hanging in there through this session tonight. And in stark contrast to all of the music that you've heard this evening, we are going to end with a piece that is pretty much in your face. But what this shows, again, is this diversity and differentiation of how students must think and feel and react to produce at the highest levels of musicianship possible. So I will end with my favorite quote before we hear the band, which is that we make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. Any student involved in music gives and shares. It's a precious commodity that I think is such an important and essential ingredient to any educational community. And tonight I hope that I've helped you to uncover the value of music in a community of learners. And I'd like to thank the students and Mr. Iapika for giving and sharing with us tonight. Thank you.